just getting started off here. I've got a 3/0 Umpqua XS 415 hook in the vise. Been using this hook on most all of my flies lately. It's a super sticky hook. Really liking it. And in the bobbin, I've got 140 denier UTC Ultra Thread in white. And the first material I'm tying on is strung rooster saddle in white. And I grabbed about 4 pieces and laid them out to get the tips even. Go ahead and secure those feathers in. And this fly is a little bigger than I think the traditional Lefty's Deceiver. This is a variant. It's tied a little bit differently than the traditional Lefty's Deceiver fly by Lefty Kreh. And then after those feathers are secure, the next material is some pearl crystal flash. I like to cut 3 pieces in half. And then use one of the half sections for the near side of the fly. With cutting them in half, they end up falling just about the length of the feathers, so you don't waste any material by cutting it off at the end. And then repeat the same process on the other side of the hook. I like to wrap the crystal flash around the thread first. Helps get it started. And then go ahead and secure that crystal flash. The next material I'd say is not completely necessary, but it does add a bit of finesse and flash to the fly. And that material would be pearl braid. The purpose is to basically cover up the hook shank. Go ahead and palmer that back, or walk the thread back, I should say. And then with this pearl braid, just go ahead and palmer forward. Just making nice tight wraps, touching wraps. Get that hook shank covered up. Go ahead and secure that material down just behind the eye. Trim off the excess. Gratuitous strokes of the fly. And then maybe 1 eyelet distance back from the eye. Go ahead and tie in the top section of the body, which this is chartreuse bucktail. The bucktails are rather stiff, quite hard material. So as you're securing it down, just make sure you give some nice good securing wraps to hold it in place. Trim off the excess. And then for the underside of the body, I'm going to be using white bucktail. Just measured about the same length as the top section. Give some nice good securing wraps to that bucktail. Checking to make sure that it's about halfway up the hook shank. Or halfway around the hook shank. Once that material is secure, go ahead and trim off the excess. Then I'm using some red marabou feathers here. Get kind of a hot spot, imitate maybe some gills or some blood, an injured fish. I like to start off tying quite a bit of it out the back and then pull it forward. Just a little easier to deal with that way instead of trying to tie in that real small section at the end. So just make sure that's centered on the bottom of the fly. Go ahead and secure that marabou. The next material, I'm grabbing about 5 or 6 strands of peacock herl. You can also use ostrich herl here, which is a bit bigger of a fiber. But I just like the texture and the color of this peacock herl. Go ahead and secure that down and trim off the excess. And then here I'm trying to separate the peacock herl fibers from the bucktail. And you'll see why in a second. But if you're watching, it would probably be easier just to continue to hold on to that peacock herl when you tie it in, as to not have to spend the time here picking out the bucktail from the peacock. So if you take your scissors and massage up on that fiber, gives it a nice fallback. And then once those materials are all tied in, go ahead and start building up a thread head. And the tying part of this fly is done, so go ahead and whip finish. Secure that whip finish knot down. And then for the eyes, I chose to go with a slightly larger diameter eye than I think is traditionally tied and that I've been tying lately. But with the 3/0 size, I just thought that these larger eyes look pretty good. And the mullet run's happening now, and mullet have some pretty big eyes, so I just thought it made sense. So I just put a little dab of super glue on the back just to get it secured down before the next step. Go ahead and repeat the process on the other side. Little dab of super glue on the back of the eye. Not totally necessary since these 3D eyes do have a bit of a sticker on the back, but it's nice to not have them fall off when you're putting the eye on the other side. And these are 5/16 3D eyes. So once those eyes are nice and even on both sides, up, down, and front to back, using some UV Loon Thin. Go ahead and hit it with the UV light. And then with the size of these eyes, and there being quite a bit of a cavity to fill, I like to do this in 2 sections instead of putting all of the UV resin in there at one time. So go ahead and repeat the process on the underside of the fly, getting in between both eyes, making it nice and even. Go ahead and hit it with the UV light. Then back to the top side to finish off that UV resin. Building a nice head on the fly. Final step of the process is back to the underside. Go ahead and build up that nice clear head for the fly. Cure it with the UV light. And there you have it. Lefty's Deceiver variant. Thanks for watching. And for more fly tying videos and exciting fishing action out on the water, please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.